My daughter's later than that, but yeah.
Happy New Year. Meeting called to order. Today is January 2nd. It's now 6:04 PM. Town Council meeting in the Town Council Chambers, 1170 Main Street, West Warwick, Rhode Island. Jay, will you lead us in prayer?
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we can begin this meeting. Help us engage in a meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Amen.
Mark, can you listen to the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Roll call. Councilman Dennison,
Here.
Councilman Lichardi,
Here.
Councilman Messier,
Here.
Council Vice President Williamson,
Here,
Council President Goslin.
Here.
Quorum is declared.
We're going to make a motion to move F down for till the chief gets here. So a little while.
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Consent agenda, approval of the minutes from the December 9th, 2023 regular town council meeting.
Move approval,
Second,
Moving second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Ordinances, first reading of ordinance 2024-1, amending section 5.3 use regulations of the zoning code. Let me just. Oh,
Hi, members. That the ordinance that I'm presenting to you now is the one I sent you a detailed report on. I don't know what I can say in addition to what I said in the report. The reason for this extreme, I consider it extreme measure, is because of the situation created by the new legislation. As you can see in the memo that I presented, each one of those, if you want to take into consideration the ones that are just because they're in a business park, there's 132 special uses. And it's no longer a question where, to oversimplify it, the zoning board can go in and say, well, this use fits the neighborhood, it's compatible, and we think it's a good addition to the town. We've got that crazy clause of strict and compliance, and the detail it has to go into each and every one of those special uses. I've discussed it with Marilyn. I've discussed it with Attorney Salvatore, and it would be absolutely impossible. We would have a 2,000-page code of ordinances to try and create one of those definitions for each special use. So where we're going to go with it, I honestly can't tell you. We're going to see what other communities have done, take the advice from Attorney Salvatore, and come back to you with some recommendations. But my concern is that if we don't stop the special use permits right now, you've got one that was just, we discussed on by email today, that type of thing could come in under special use. We don't have a category for it, and bingo, it's ours to deal with. So that's why Marilyn and I have felt that this is the best way to go. Other communities have done the same thing by every place in their table of uses where there's an S, they've put an X. We're fortunate we got the definitions at the beginning of the table of uses. So just by changing S from meaning special use permit, S now means prohibited. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. It's just what I consider an emergency matter for the protection of what may come into the town.
Any questions for Al on this?
No, so Al, this is a temporary, until we actually have all of the changes that we need to make, correct?
Yes, once this puts a hold, basically puts a hold on special use permits
Correct.
until a decision is made. Hopefully, we will be presenting to you a full change and amendment with the updates first meeting of March. And in that interim time, Marilyn and Kelly and I will try to come up with something. And actually, we're going to be looking at what other communities have done. It's a, no, I better shut up.
We actually didn't move this, no. So,
So make a motion.
yes, so actually, I would move that we approve this ordinance with one small change. The ordinance itself that we have in front of us says the first reading is on December 19th. The first reading is actually on January 2nd.
And then as the second whereas also says January 1, 2023.
A second.
Yes.
I should say 2024.
Thank you. I will make those changes.
Thank you, Al. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions on this ordinance? Any public comment on this ordinance? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Jay?
Yes.
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes,
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Al.
First reading of ordinance 2024-2, amending Appendix C traffic ordinances of the Code of Ordinances Brookside Avenue.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Move in second.
This is an ordinance placing a stop sign on each side of the bike path on Brookside Avenue, and I'll turn it over to Councilor Messier for that.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed this a lot, the past couple months at the meetings. It did get a negative recommendation from the traffic committee. I decided to still move it forward to bring it to the council. I did reach out to Major Blaze, and we did go out there, and I said, even if they were not in favor of it, I wanted to make sure we put it in places that were still safe in the community. And we came up with a game plan of where we were gonna put them out there, so,
Jay, is this the one that was related to the young lady who was here with the video
yes.
before I was on the council? Okay.
Yes, absolutely, yep. Yep, so it's that. So there's one, kind of right before you get to the bike path, there's like a telephone pole. So one of them, I believe, will be right there. And the other one will be kind of at the fence with the West Warwick Manor on your right-hand side. Again, I did go out there with Major Blaze so we could come up with I told them if we move forward, I wanted to make sure that we weren't just throwing them up somewhere random.
And that's important. We've had those discussions here before. I would suggest, and I don't know if the traffic safety committee talked about it, is that there is a better stop or better signage on the bike path itself.
Yeah,
Because
and we wouldn't need to do an ordinance for that. I mean, that's just something they can just,
So just because, and I don't know if it's in our purview or not, but clearly the video that we saw, it was a question of the person traveling on the bike path that actually did not.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
that specific incident, of
Yes.
course, yeah.
So maybe it needs to be better marked. I don't know what you,
So two things with this. First, we'll look at the signs, and that was part of the recommendation that came out of
okay,
the
The
Traffic
original,
Safety
yeah.
Committee. But also there are the bollards that are in the ground that are recessed. I spoke to DPW director today. I don't know if we can find those keys anymore, but I'm sure we can get them from the DOT. They are gonna redo those anyway this year allegedly, to get those raised and highlight the fact that there is something.
There's a street coming up.
right.
Do we have something on that part of the bike path that gives you, are there any, typically there's white lines that are, I don't know, 50 feet before you need to
Like
stop,
letting you know there's like a street coming up.
letting you know there's a street coming up. I mean, people who travel it all the time should know that.
Right.
But you always get that
Yeah.
person who, I'm on the bike path, I'm the pedestrian, I'm not in the vehicle, so I have the right of way. So if a car's coming, they're going to stop, or it's too bad, and that's just not, doesn't happen, and that's when you get into a situation like this.
Yeah, and it's, we talked about when it was brought to us, but I think that's basically one of only, maybe three main intersections with the bike path. There's one there's one right over behind the police station, and there's also the one which is kind of almost in Warwick, but the one right behind the old Westcott House.
Right.
It's the only one that's not on a state road.
Yeah, okay.
Are the bollards painted or using the slip over covers or anything to highlight them?
My recollection, since those have been down for so long now, is they weren't that
Oh, they're
bright
not in place?
originally. No,
They're in place, they
recessed
sink
into
in the ground.
Oh, they're sinking, okay.
So each police car back in the day had a key to raise and lower
Yeah.
it to get emergency vehicles there, but at some point, I don't even know if they're capable of being raised anymore, but we'll make a point of DOT when they do come out to address that. And I know originally there were diamonds when you, right before you got to them, and I think they actually had reflectors, whether those still exist or not, I'm not sure, but we'll address that with them too.
Any questions for Al or Jay on that? Any public comment on this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote. Jay?
I'm gonna vote yes on this.
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
Liquor licenses, Town Council acting as a liquor license commission. Transfer of Class A liquor license from Centerville Liquors, Inc., doing business as Centerville Liquors, to Centerville Wine and Spirits LLC, doing business as Centerville Wine and Spirits, located at 287A LaGrosse Avenue.
Move approval of the transfer.
Second.
Moving second. Good evening, sir. How are you? How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Just a couple of things that we just want to bring up forthcoming with, this transfer. There's still two things we're waiting on. One, Sarah has a copy of, it's, a letter stating it's one vendor that he owes or whatever, that's gonna be paid at the closing or whatever. And then secondly, you're waiting on the state, correct?
That's correct. The issuance of the certificate of good standing, I'm told that'll happen in the next couple of weeks. And we'd ask this transfer be made subject, obviously, to the closing and presenting you with the certificate of good standing.
Any questions on that?
I do have a question. We don't have a certificate of good standing. What am I looking at as part of the packet here?
That probably would have been from Corporations Division, not from this Division of Taxation.
Right, so taxation.
Right, that's one.
Oh, I'm
Has to
sorry,
be
2004.
too. Yeah.
I should put this back on.
I was hoping you had something I didn't.
Any other questions? Any public comment on this license? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Business licenses, renewal of bingo licenses.
Move approval of the bingo licenses.
Second.
Moving seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion on these business licenses? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Bingo can continue.
Appointments and resignations, request from Susan Banks for reappointment to the Juvenile Hearing Board for term ending December 2027.
Move approval.
Second.
Moving seconded.
Have to recuse myself for
recusing
this.
yourself. For the record, Councilman Luchati recuses himself. Any comment?
This is a reappointment. This is-
Reappointment.
Yes,
Sue's been on there,
for some time,
little, yeah,
long time.
always involved, so. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
New business, presentation by the Secretary of State's office regarding the state of Rhode Island's 250th anniversary in consideration of forming a local 250th commission.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Aye.
Hello. My name is Lauren Fogarty, and I am the program coordinator for the Rhode Island 250th Semi-Quincentennial Commission. And I know that's a mouthful, so you can just call it RI 250. That's what we like to
That's
call it.
easier.
It's
Yes,
a lot
yeah.
easier. Thank you for having me today in your beautiful town. On behalf of Secretary of State Greg Amore, we in 2026 are set to celebrate and mark the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. For some, this milestone may elicit memories of the bicentennial period in our nation during the 1970s. I'm here today to bring attention to this tremendous opportunity for each community across our state and nation alike. RI 250 has been charged with developing ways to recognize and honor this anniversary in our state. The mission of the commission is to commemorate the 250th anniversary of our nation, the events throughout history in which our beautiful state has had a massive influence in, and our largely forgotten role in the formulation of our nation. Most notably, our contributions to the ideals of freedom, equality, and independence. And we at the commission are most excited to help facilitate this milestone statewide years-long, multifaceted commemoration. And we intend to engage as many Rhode Islanders as possible. And we believe that the natural next step is at the municipal level. One of the duties of the commission is to collaborate with local organizations to help promote this pivotal role that Rhode Island has played in the founding of our country. And today I would like to take the time to invite West Warwick to organize a local 250th committee to encourage public participation and events that highlight Rhode Island's diversity. I've shared with your clerk a pamphlet provided by the American Association for State and Local Histories, AASLH, who has taken the reins on this project at the federal level. Although this information is directed at larger scale commissions like RI 250, I think that the resources and toolkit outlined in it are incredibly helpful for this endeavor. And the example of a working group seems like the best approach. And we've been recommending to each municipality that they lean on historical organizations or groups that are active in your community. They're probably aware of this milestone and very excited about what can come. Our neighbors in South Kingstown have been celebrating their 300th anniversary over the past year. The programming, academic resources, and public engagement have been significant, and the town has marked this unique milestone with a lecture series on the town's history, elevated or larger scale bonfires, and elevated regular events like their annual Arts and Culture Festival, and something that they like to call River Fire. I think you can understand where they got that from. The town will also install a 14-foot sculpture that is designed by the influence of their history and identity as a community in the town green. And I think that this showcases that the opportunities for this milestone are truly endless. Commemorative events like the semi-quincentennial can bring communities together and promote a sense of identity. There's so much progress to celebrate. During my time with RI 250, many people look back on the bicentennial with very fond memories, and I think that we can make this the best commemoration yet. Secretary Amore envisions coordinated projects with each municipality, and that can include a pop-up archives presentation. Today I brought a small collection of formative documents from West Warwick and a collection of photographs that are maintained by the state archives. I put them on the front table with the agendas. You can take a peek at them when you're leaving. This is an example of a type of display, or a small scale version of it, that can be curated at a West Warwick at America's 250 event, or West Warwick 250, whatever you guys prefer. Of course, coordinated with the Rhode Island Department of State and State Archives. In addition, Secretary Amore hopes to coordinate projects with each municipality, including an evergreen program, which may include the planting of a red maple tree in your town green. Therefore, I come to you today to urge this council to establish a committee to mark this milestone. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys may have in regards to planning or structure.
Any questions?
What kind of committees have been formed? How many communities are participating?
Yeah, so we've reached
We're
out to,
last in the alphabet or close, so maybe
well, we've been reaching out to every municipality. We have reached out to all 39, and we've given about 21 presentations so far. Two already, Burrville and Warren already took the liberty of creating their own committee without a presentation. But the ones that we have presented in have committed to creating one. At this time, we're either helping create the resolution to establish a committee or offering recommendations. I know that a number of towns are currently have advertisements for the seats that to be filled. So that's pretty much the status of all the current committees, but we're hoping to really get this ball moving.
And what do you envision the financial commitment to be?
So currently, this is a very common question. So at this time, our commission is quite constrained. We're actually submitting a budget increase request for the next fiscal year. We hope to obviously help municipalities, but I foresee that I can't necessarily give a figure, but I think that it would be something that would most likely be driven through fundraising efforts. That's at least what most municipalities have been exploring, and leaning on those historical societies that this is their whole identity. So I can't necessarily give a figure, but we're hoping to either elevate events that you are already hosting in your town, whether it's a particular parade that you like Bristol, obviously the 4th of July is so large scale and so important to them. But other towns have important Memorial Day parades. I know that Lincoln's really proud of their Memorial Day parade, so they want to elevate things like that. So
Yeah, parades here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We have a St. Patrick's and then we have a Labor Day. So we're going to create a committee and I can't imagine we wouldn't, to be honest with you, but
of course.
will we be directed by the state on things that we have to do? Or is it,
There's no real requirements. We just want each municipality to be able to share in this unique milestone. Everyone has their own unique history. We can't really tell blanketly to every municipality, this is how you're going to celebrate your own history. We obviously want to do some keystone events that would kind of celebrate our history as a state, but we want the municipalities to be as involved in celebrating their own history.
So you're just looking at recognition from each city or town to coincide with something that the state is doing.
Yeah, of course. We want every Rhode Islander to understand the role that we played and really just be involved with this milestone.
So are you looking at doing something as a whole for the state to recognize the cities and towns?
Yeah,
And
we're
what they
hop-
do as well?
We're hoping to obviously work in coordination. What that may look like is as we develop these committees, we're hoping to kind of have that collaboration, of course. And then we want to bring it to each municipality. We want to have these events that are satellite events that would be a state marker and bring tourists here, bring money here. It's a really great financial opportunity, I
You
think,
said
for
you
these
have some
municipalities.
resolutions from the other committees that have already been established. You said in 3 communities.
So there's been at least 23 that have committed to making a committee. At this point, we're currently reaching out and figuring out what the status is within each with the new year. So I am happy to provide that information to the clerk.
Yeah, that we
Of
can look it
course.
over and kind of,
Of course. Yeah, I think that anywhere between 5 and 15 members has kind of been the status quo.
yeah, good luck finding 15, but maybe, but
In the larger communities, I feel like.
Any other questions? Thank you for that.
thank you
presentation.
very much.
You
I
guys.
appreciate it.
Of course.
were you looking for a vote for us to establish that, or is that informational? Is that
Nope, not yet.
I think that,
Once you have a-
provide me with a blanket resolution that I'll
Perfect.
tweak to,
perfect?
and I'll put that before you at the next meeting.
Yeah, and that way we can get it out
Me-
to, and come up, then we can come up with like how many we want to
Correct.
put on this committee.
Perfect. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Consideration or request from Jane Del Sesto for reimbursement for tire claim.
Move the request.
Second?
Moving seconded. Any discussion? We got a letter from Jeff approving it.
Yeah, the 3 quotes, right? If I remember when I looked at it. And the pothole's been fixed. Or the manhole that was floating has been fixed.
It wasn't a pothole, it was a manhole
Oh,
cover
yeah.
that was floating above ground from the water. And she caught it just right as she was going over it and it popped her tire. Pulled over on the side of the road. I was up there probably 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes after it happened. So it wasn't, it did happen.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Building committee update.
Take your time because we gotta wait. for
Exactly, huh?
something.
Hmm.
Drag it out. Bob, you wanna give an update?
This is extremely brief. We met earlier this morning with the owner's project manager, Chris Spiegel, after they were brought on by the school committee. He and his team will be presenting at tomorrow's school building committee tomorrow afternoon at 4.
That's all.
Can, are we able to do public comment before we do that? I don't
Yeah,
need the time public comment will go quick. I mean, I don't know. Does anybody know the status of the chief? Yeah.
Tell him he has to leave.
No, no, no.
We can all go down. We can all go down there and see him on East Main. That's yeah, see him in action.
For those that are watching at home, he is on the scene of a working fire right now, so.
Which is what he does.
Yeah, which why we're,
Yeah,
yeah,
just, yeah.
trying to
We're
prove.
waiting for him.
What do you think? Move to public, do the.
Go to
public- can we-
upcoming
can-
appointments
Yep.
and then. go to public
I'll
comment.
read them real slow.
Yeah.
All right, upcoming appointments. Sewer Use Board of Review, appointment to fill a vacancy as an alternate member for a 3-year term. Sewer Use Board of Review, appointment to fill a vacancy as a regular member for a 3-year term. West Warwick Housing Authority, appointment to fill a vacancy for a 5-year term expiring November 2027. Tax Assessment Board of Review, appointment to fill a vacancy for a 3-year term. Juvenile Hearing Board, we now only have one appointment or reappointment for a 4-year term. And School Building Committee, an architectural engineering or architectural engineering or construction experience, and a tree warden, which must be a licensed arborist. Public forum.
Public comment.
I want to bring something up quickly. I don't want to go too much into it, but I just know because I've gotten so many emails and so many calls about it, is Cohasset Ave. Looks like it should be, some of the big issues should be, we got the email today, should be fixed within the next couple of days, so I'm just.
And you had some meetings today, did you not?
I talked with Richard from Jeremiah. They're gonna fix the bigger problems tomorrow. They're not gonna be able to fix them all in one day, but they are gonna address them all. And I told them I would like to be out there when they do it to make sure we address them all. Most of the company is on vacation, so they're gonna do the best they can. So tomorrow they'll start fixing the bigger issues.
Yeah, there's a couple, that one right before you get to the fire station where like
Yeah,
I
no,
almost
it's-
went
it's-
into it. I'm like
it's
totally into it.
I
Thank
used,
God it's a
yeah.
state road.
And going forward, I got a phone call today actually from one of our representatives on the Kent County Water Board,
Yes.
Jeff Roussel.
So did I.
And he, he said he had to learn about this on Facebook, which, but again, from now on, we gotta make sure we keep them involved and give them a shout and let them know what's going on. I mean, it's been known, Cohasset Ave's been an issue. I mean, we've had residents come up to the microphone and over the whole entire
Well, some
summer.
of it had been a detour, which is an inconvenience.
One
but
of
it's-
the biggest problems is Kent County Water doesn't communicate very well with us.
That's
So
something
Well,
we need to work
there was
on.
some, yeah, I mean,
we
so.
try and, they don't report everything to us. And one of the biggest problems is, they backfill the road and pave it in the same day, which we know they have to
gonna have
do,
a problem.
but it doesn't really
Right.
time for settlement.
Right.
So, over time, that's gonna settle no matter what you do. So you're gonna run into that problem regardless. Unfortunately, it just happened to run into this time of year where it's gonna get even worse.
Kent County Water, and Jeff in particular, when I spoke to him, and I think we all had conversations with him either today or yesterday, acknowledged that it was a Kent County Water issue,
Mhm.
that it wasn't a town issue, but we need to have it fixed. And there's been a lot of, well, it's a state road, doesn't really matter, we need it fixed. That's
Oh, and
what
I-
it
and
comes
I've-
down to,
I've
yeah.
spoken with the state and I've spoken with Boyle Fogarty and I've spoken with Kent County Water. And we've come together now to fix the problem tomorrow, hopefully. Some of the problem, and then going forward, we'll make sure we have better communication, that's for sure.
I have had a conversation with the DOT Director's Office as well, expressing our concern, and that goes back 4 weeks or so where they absolutely said, nope, it'll be taken care of. Well, obviously it hasn't been, so.
And we've got a long way to go on that road, so.
Correct.
Can I make a suggestion
Yes.
because you're going a little
Yeah,
further?
put an item on the next
I would put
agenda.
it and make sure that if those repairs are not done, invite everybody here from Kent County Water Authority, DOT, et cetera. They may or may not come, but at least that
Yeah,
way,
I think
it'll be
it's
properly
just more of
before
an
you.
informational.
Yeah, let's
Right,
just
but-
put,
yeah.
let's just,
Yep.
let's
Make
put
sure
an
it's
item on the
properly
agenda next
before
time,
you-
and hopefully it's a quick one and we can say it's fixed, and at least we have it on the agenda. That way, if some of the residents wanted this, I know that some of them had a lot of concerns, let's put it on the next agenda, and again, maybe it'll be solved then, and
And I'll update you tomorrow once, we get taken care of what we can get taken care of.
thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Does work. Couple months ago, weeks ago, I'm not sure, there was talk about upgrading this system. I wonder where we are with that, because even if I come sit up in the front of the room, it's all mumbles unless you're speaking directly into the mic. You can't hear hardly anything back there. It's hard to keep up with what's going on. Is there any idea when we're gonna have something rolling along? Thank you. Oh,
Yes,
Tom
they-
Oates, 6 Colonial Way. Ho, 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 Merry.
Unfortunately, we're at their mercy, Tom. We are waiting for them to come install a new ambient microphone as well that will pick up everything.
John Reed, 62 Andrews Avenue. It's January, I'd just like to know if something's been done for the crossing guards.
If you'd like a report, we completed the town's policy and recommendations. HR and the police chief and the school committee put it together. They met earlier today, and they're in the process of trying to set up a meeting with the crossing guards to review that policy before I put my signature on it, in case they have any additional feedback that we can amend before I sign it.
So they will have some input on it themselves? That's good. Thank you.
Thought I'd say, Bert, how you doing? You can yell from there. We're not gonna tell you, Bert.
Yeah, that's right.
We're not gonna tell you.
We probably do. I'll leave that up to you. We approved it. Yes.
I don't remember exactly what the dollar amount was, Bert. I want to say it was around.
Bert.
You should come to my house and see me. That's a, yeah, yes.
Bert, we have a pension problem. You wanna take care of that too? They will have it. Yep, the music. Yep.
Yes.
They had it there this year too, but it was not, didn't have as many. If I remember correctly, but. All right, I see two others. Just state your name and address.
I'm Susan Pangman, 137 Phoenix Ave.
I'm Rebecca Alad at 83 Factory Street, West Warwick.
Yes. Okay, today we got told that we're going to have a meeting. But we were also told that times were going to be changed. So something tells me that you might give us a little more money, but you're gonna cut our hours. And I don't know how you're gonna do that.
I can't answer that.
Yeah,
Anybody answer that?
no.
I'll just share with the council that school department told us what the hours are. There's some policy things that I think clean up and organize it and lay things out. And there is a recommended salary adjustment to it. What the net effects are, I don't know. I don't think the time changes, or even if it's truly a time change is significant, but they can hash that out at a meeting. Should happen as soon as they can mutually agree upon one.
Your time to negotiate is gonna be at your meeting, not tonight.
Friday?
You can make any statement you want. The council just can't negotiate because it's not properly before them on the agenda. So you make any statement you want, just, I'm gonna caution my client not to respond because they're not negotiating right now.
Okay.
And sorry, ladies, I'm new here. Is this a crossing guard issue?
Yes,
Okay,
it
okay.
is.
I just want to make sure I'm,
Yes.
Been up this 21 years. And this whole thing has fallen apart in the last 10 years. I mean, completely fallen apart. We need crossing guard, first of all. We hired a man who worked 1 week and 4 days, and has not been back since. But that job has not been posted. We really need crossing guard. You know, there's two of us. I'm going to be out 8 weeks because I have to have my other knee done. She's going to be by herself. It's impossible up there on that hill. And we have no one to cover it. So it needs to be posted. I mean, get us some crossing guards. We used to have 8. When I started here, we had 8 crossing guards. We're down to 3. So if you could help us out somehow, we really need crossing guards.
And I think that's all part of the process. HR is handling it, and that's where it belongs. It truly isn't a town council issue, and we've had that conversation, but we did make sure that the work was done. I do know that there have been several meetings putting together a standing operating procedures, so everyone knows, so it's not who do you report to? It will be clear.
Okay.
That's,
Well, you're the one that told us we were
Yes.
glad that we spoke up for
Yep,
ourselves. So
that's
I'm
exactly correct.
Speaking up for myself after all these years.
but again, it is truly a personnel issue.
Yeah.
And that's where it belongs, in the personnel and HR realm. And our personnel director's here. Sorry about that, Sherry, but that's as is our police chief, and they are working together to make sure that it's handed over.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Never thought I'd say this, but where's Alan when you need him?
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
so.
So he saw people here, and he's going, right? He's
I
going.
just,
home.
he's gotta
I
continue
text him,
driving.
so.
Um, And is his family here?
You take a brief recess if you wanted to.
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute.
I just want to give you guys an update too on the flat top playground.
Yes.
Everything is on schedule to be delivered February 20th. And as long as the weather stays the way it is, they're gonna continue working through the year and they'll just start constructing it.
Okay.
O'Brien. O'Brien. No, we're not gonna get involved in that. We want everything to be done correctly and ADA compliant and so, but I talked to her this morning and everything is on schedule, so. I'll let you guys know.
You know, I guess we'll be preparing for our first snowstorm in almost 300 days,
Don't
so.
say that.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Take
some
that back.
question back and forth, but I don't know what you're
6 to 10
seeing.
inches right now.
Yeah. Hoping not. but-
Talk like that.
Sorry, Jeff.
I'm gonna make a motion to take like a 5-minute, somebody needs to use the restroom, 5-minute break and, or shorter if we see the chief come in.
Sam. Nobody made
That's a
second.
second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Take a 5-minute
Yeah,
recess.
don't go anywhere, though. Yeah.
There's a candy dish.
Put some mint. Near my fridge, there's boxes of candy. I'll put them together.
I know. We had this discussion.
Yeah, you just said, well, you said you were hungry, so.
Calling the meeting back to order.
An intervention?
We're leaving you of your duties.
All right, Mark, it's all you. We're back in.
I was told you'd love this. So again, good evening, town councilors, colleagues, citizens, and friends. Since I was selected as the interim town manager in October of 2020, and even before that as our police chief, I've been blessed to work with a great team of managers and employees charged with providing municipal services, being good stewards of the financial resources entrusted to us, and leading our community with the ideals of humanity, dignity, and respect for all. During my tenure, there is one employee that has been rock solid, going above and beyond typical responses and selflessly providing leadership during an epidemic, pandemic, natural disasters, civic events, and day-to-day occurrences. I would like to publicly recognize the hard work and dedication of our fire chief and emergency management agency director, Jeff Ferrone. Chief Ferrone came to West Warwick in 2018 after serving the city of Providence for 35 years. In addition to the behind-the-scenes management and leadership of the busy public safety department, Chief Ferrone has tirelessly dedicated his skills to many other issues and challenges faced by our community, our state, and our nation. As our EMA director, Chief Ferrone was the face of the town's efforts to mitigate and recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. He and his team responded to numerous medical calls, facilitated vaccination clinics, and assisted in the management of our own employees' protection, exposures, and operations. Next, Chief Ferrone has been a primary facilitator representing the town, working with numerous community partners to promote innovative and best practice responses to the opioid epidemic. He has led West Warwick's efforts in establishing safe stations, getting staff and community members trained in dispensing naloxone, and establishing a grant-funded community paramedicine program to promote health and reduce dependence on non-emergency EMS responses and emergency room visits. Chief Ferrone continues to be at the forefront of seeking solutions to local homelessness. His compassion and empathy for those among us who are less fortunate or dealing with life challenges are impressive and inspiring. He is consistently seeking opportunities for proper shelter and care from both private and public entities. During natural disasters and tragic incidents, Chief Ferrone is a key member of our incident command team. As our local EMA director and our liaison to the Rhode Island EMA, Chief Ferrone communicates with public safety partners to organize efficient rescue operations and put us in a position for effective recovery and federal funding opportunities. Finally, Chief Ferrone is well respected amongst his peers in the fire service and valued for his true caring for the men and women of our fire department. He has managed to work through staffing issues that plague our current society and has facilitated the enhancement of our own equipment and apparatus. In conclusion, the town of West Warwick is a better place due to Chief Ferrone's dedication and service, and I'm a better person for knowing him. Thank you for your distinguished service. I'll read the whereas thing in a minute, but I used to be able to procure get out of jail free cards. Since I lost that, you'll have to settle for a letter to the Human Resources Department awarding you with 2 administrative days off of your choice as a well-deserved break. So here's the citation part. Whereas, this is much shorter. Whereas Chief Ferrone has been a member of the West Warwick Fire Department since July of 2018. And whereas Chief Ferrone also serves as West Warwick's Emergency Management Agency's director. And whereas Chief Ferrone continues to serve the members of our fire department, our residents, and our visitors with distinction, compassion, and integrity. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the West Warwick Town Council would like to commend and recognize J. Jeffrey Ferrone for his exemplary conduct and outstanding performance in emergency situations and daily municipal operations. Be it further resolved that this citation will be made a permanent part of the records of the Town Council of the Town of West Warwick, given under seal of the Town Council of the Town of West Warwick, Rhode Island, this second day of January 2024, signed by our council president. Thank you.
Just for the record, those 2 extra days must be used and not cashed in.
Now you can take your family out for dinner.
Yep.
Wait, well, we can meet, do they want to come and get a picture with us? Does she want to come and get a picture?
Yeah, come on,
Family in,
absolutely.
family first, and then the team that's here. A deputy photographer.
Yeah, one, or get up here. Just saying. I know.
No, I saw you try to
Slink
get in the
down,
picture.
yeah.
You're still in.
Congratulations.
And it said you'd love this.
Got an update on the East Main Street fire too?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna love your sweatshirt.
One thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be begging for public comment tonight.
Yeah.
Just to keep it going.
Motion, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No motion to executive.
I'm sorry,
session.
make a motion to move into executive session. I apologize.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.